What's up, everybody? It's Rick Pino here from Get Wisdom. Today's video is going to be how to grow in the 4 stages of wealth creation. What if there was a fast and simple way to grow in wealth to where you don't have to hustle, you don't have to grind, you don't have to believe the lie that, oh man, making money is hard, growing in wealth is hard. No, it's not. And in today's training, I'm going to show you exactly how to grow into the 4 stages of wealth. In fact, have you ever wondered why God created creation not in one big poof, but he did it in stages? We're going to connect this to growing wealth in stages. Why did God build creation in stages? We're talking about it all today in this training. Stay tuned. Let's get into it. If you are taking notes, make sure to write it down like this. You guys ready? Your financial increase will be in direct proportion to your financial intelligence. Ooh. Think about that. Your financial increase will be in direct proportion to your financial intelligence. So what does that mean? It means when you increase your understanding of how money works, then you will increase your income. Ta-da! Like, think about it, guys. Like, the most poverty-stricken parts of the nation, whether it's here in America, whether it's overseas, whether it's wherever, the parts that are the most poverty-stricken are usually the most uneducated parts of the world. And the parts that are usually the most wealthy are usually the most educated parts of the world. Do you think there's a connection there? Yes or yes? Of course there is, right? Because when you increase your understanding of how money works, then you will be able to increase your income. So I submit to you that however much money you do or do not have in your bank account right now is a direct reflection of your understanding of how money actually works, okay? Are y'all tracking with me? Waving the screen like this if y'all are tracking with me so far. You guys getting it? Okay. So here's the thing. Before we talk about the 4 stages of wealth, let's look at why wealth is built in stages. In fact, if you're taking notes, write it down like this. Wealth is built in stages. Where did I learn this from? Well, I learned this from God. You know why? Because everything God does, he does in stages. Wow, think about that. Everything God does, everything God creates, everything that God is up to, he's doing it in stages. Like, think about this. He could have made creation in one poof of a moment, but he chose instead to do it in stages. Why? Why did God choose to create creation in stages? I'll tell you why. Because he wanted to show us how to build things that last. Why is it important that you learn to build wealth in stages? Because when you build in stages, you can now build a wealth that lasts. I talk about this so many times, but there's a reason why so many times people who like win the lottery, or sometimes like professional athletes who get large lumps of money, like lottery winners, and like, you know, sometimes professional athletes, you got millions and millions of dollars out of nothing. They're rich for a moment, and then literally 1 or 2 years later, they're dead broke again. Why? Because it wasn't built in stages, right? And only things that are built in stages last. How many of you guys and gals here would like to build a wealth that lasts, not just for you, not just for your children, but for your children's children? If that's you, drop some fire emojis down in the comments, okay? So let's take a brief moment and look at the difference between riches, money, and wealth. Because how many of y'all know riches, money, and wealth are 3 very different things. And before you can learn how to build the 4 stages of wealth, you need to know the difference between riches, money, and wealth, because they are all completely different. Are y'all ready? If you're ready, shout "I'm ready" down in the comments. Are you guys ready? Can I just unpack it all for you guys here and show you how wealth is built? Okay, come with me to the board and let's start with riches. Okay, so what are riches, right? If riches, money, and wealth are all different, See, because don't be like the broke-minded person who thinks money, wealth, and riches are all the same thing, because they're not. If riches, money, and wealth are different, then what are riches? Riches, guys, the easiest way to describe riches are the stuff. What do you mean by stuff, Rick? I'm talking about riches are cars, jewelry, houses, clothes, right? Like, these are riches. This is stuff, right? Riches are the stuff. By the way, there's nothing wrong with riches, okay? In fact, I believe that riches are a byproduct of money and wealth, which I'll teach you here in just a moment what money and wealth are. But there's nothing wrong with riches, but I need to issue a caution to you out of Proverbs chapter 11, verse 28. Watch this. Proverbs 11:28 says it like this. Y'all ready? Write it down. Proverbs 11:28. Proverbs 11:28 says it like this. He who trusts in his riches will fall. I submit to you, okay? It's so interesting because the more I grow in wealth, the more I'm on my wealth journey, the more I'm beginning to discover, like, the wealthier people are, the less they're flaunting their stuff. And the less wealthy people are, the more they're flaunting their riches. It's so crazy to me that, like, people on the internet, or, people are like, they're renting Lambos, and they're like, renting, Rolex watches, and like they're doing all this crazy stuff, and they're flashing it on the internet, and they literally don't even have two nickels to rub together. They spent everything they have to try to look rich. How many of y'all know there's a big difference between looking rich and being rich? I was talking to somebody just this past week who on the internet, they're like flashing, they're like talking about how much money they're making, blah, blah, blah. And then secretly and privately, they're like, man, I'm broke, man. I don't even have two nickels to rub together. I'm like, bro, why are you talking about this on the internet like this? And you don't even have two nickels to rub together, bro. Guys, I'm telling you this. I submit to you, okay? Proverbs 11:28. He who trusts in his riches will fall. Nothing wrong with having stuff, but if you trust in the stuff, you will fall. In fact, write it down like this. Riches are fleeting because they aren't a good representation of a person's actual wealth. Riches are fleeting because they aren't a good representation of a person's actual wealth. Like I'm saying, there's nothing wrong with riches. My gosh, I'm wearing a $15,000 watch right now. Like, riches, who cares? It's stuff, it's money. It's cars, it's jewelry, it's houses, it's clothes, it's just stuff, right? If you trust in the stuff, you will fall. Okay, so is everybody clear so far? Riches are what? Let me know in the comments. Riches are what? It's just stuff, right? It's your stuff, right? And the stuff, if you put your trust in it, it's fleeting. So does everybody understand what riches are? Riches are just the stuff that comes as a byproduct of money and wealth. Speaking of money and wealth, come with me to the board. And now let's break down, what is money? Have you ever asked yourself, what is money? Let's talk about it. Okay, so riches are the stuff. Money, what is money? Okay, is money like, is money coins? Is money paper? Is money digits on a screen, right? Like, is money plastic cards in your wallet? Like, what is money, right? I'm going to tell you a very, very basic definition of money. You guys ready for this? Hope you're taking notes. Money is very simple, guys. Money is power and ability. Simply said, money is a byproduct of the value that you provide for someone else, okay? Because how many of y'all know, you see, whenever you haven't made a lot of money, and maybe you're still struggling with like a poverty mindset or a broke mindset, you believe the lie that money changes you. Oh man, when they get money, bro, they change. No, no, no. Money doesn't change a person. Money just amplifies a person with more of who that person is, AKA money will amplify that person's power and ability. Okay, if you are a stingy person before you have money, money's just going to make you that much more stingy. If you are a generous person before you have money, money's just going to amplify your power and ability to be more generous. If you are a kind-hearted person before you have money, money's going to amplify that, right? If you are greedy before you have money, money is just going to amplify that. Money just amplifies who a person is, and it does it in the form of power and ability. Money just, it provides options, right? If you're taking notes, write it down like this. Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. Matthew chapter 6, verse 24, very important verse. I think a lot of times church people, religious people take this out of context. Let me break it down for you, okay? Matthew chapter 6, verse 24, it says it like this: no one can serve two masters, since either he will hate one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. And then the punchline of the verse is, you cannot serve both God and money. Okay, God and mammon, right? And so what is the point here, right? The point here is money in itself is not bad, right? The whole point of money is I have a byproduct of value that I have put out to the market. And we're going to get to this in just a second. I'm going to break it down even further for you, okay? But I have a byproduct of the value that I've put out to the market has allowed me to have more power and more ability, and it's allowed me to be more of who I am, okay? So if you're a generous heart, you're gonna be more generous. If you're stingy, you're gonna be more stingy. If you are, if you're a crook before you have money, you're gonna be a crook. You're gonna be more of a crook when you get money. Are you guys getting it? Drop some fire emojis down in the comments if you're getting it, right? So the point here is that you can't serve God and your own ability and power. That's what this verse is saying. It's not saying, oh, money's so bad, like you can't serve God and money. Beware of the love of money. It's the root of all kinds of evil. Store up not for yourself treasures on earth where moth and rust destroy. But no. It's not saying that money's bad. It's just saying, it's kind of like what we just learned about riches, right? If you put your trust in your riches, you're going to fall, of course. Why? Because this watch can fall off my wrist and smash on the floor. Right? Like my house can burn down. Hopefully it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like your car can get in a wreck. Like if you put your trust in this stuff, they're all fleeting, right? They're just byproducts. They're just stuff. They're not bad within themselves, but if you put your trust in them, you're going to fall. The same thing goes for money. Like you can't serve God Almighty and also like, I am fully devoted to you, God, and I'm fully devoted to my own ability and my own power. There's a reason why the Bible says that his strength is made perfect in our what? Weakness. Now, what that verse is not talking about there, it's not saying like, oh, I'm so weak and I'm so fragile and frail. Oh, I can't. No. It's saying this. The ability to be presently weak, like in our weakness, he's made strong. It simply means this: I am not going to trust in my own power or my own ability. And here's the thing, God might have given you a measure of power and a measure of ability. But when you can say, hey, that's cool, it's there, I'll use it to serve people, I'll use it to do things, that's cool, but I'm not going to serve my own power and ability more than I serve God. You see what I'm saying? So whenever we surrender and we say, hey, my power and ability, thank you, God, it's there, but I love you more than this ability to do stuff. That's what this is saying. Are you guys getting it? Drop some fire emojis down in the comments if y'all are getting it, okay? So what is the purpose of money? So we've understood riches are kind of like the byproduct, it's the stuff, right? What is the purpose of money? I'm glad you're asking. If you're taking notes, write it down like this. The purpose of money is to have the power and ability to what? To purchase. What are we going to purchase with our power and ability? We're going to purchase time. Because broke-minded people are willing to trade a lot of time for a little bit of money, but wealthy-minded people, we are trading a little bit of money for a whole lot of time, right? So we use our power and ability with money to purchase time. We use it to purchase freedom, okay? We use it to purchase options. Like this is so crazy. Like 2 days ago, my wife was like, hey, the kids have some time off at school. We should do something fun with them. I'm like, cool, what do you want to do? And she's like, maybe we'll do this and that. And literally, like, in a moment, we just like, let's book a vacation. And literally, like, we're leaving tomorrow to go chill on the beach again. And we were just there like a month ago. And I'm not saying that to boast. I'm saying with power and ability, you get to purchase these things and have a ton of options. Okay, and that's not even including like how many people we get to help. You might have heard me say this before. I'm not saying this to boast. I'm just saying this to encourage you. We're able to do more ministry now than we've ever been able to do in our lives. Why? Because we can afford it. We can afford to pay this thing and help that person and sow over here and give over here generously. We use our power and ability to purchase time, freedom, options, right? To meet needs for others, okay? Not just to meet needs for others, but watch this. To fulfill wants for ourselves, that's part of it. But I submit to you, one of the biggest purposes of money is to purchase assets. If you never heard it said before, Uncle Ricky P gonna tell you again. Liabilities bleed you, but assets will feed you. Okay? One of the reasons why so many people stay broke, guys, is because they're using money to purchase more liabilities than they're purchasing assets. Like every single day. I know this sounds crazy. And I didn't wake up with this skill. You have to grow into this. But I'm at the point now where every single day I am purchasing assets daily, like on the daily. And on top of those assets, I'm purchasing assets weekly. And on top of those assets, I'm purchasing assets monthly. On top of those assets, like I'm using my power and ability to purchase assets. Why? Because I believe one of the main purposes of money, besides being able to be generous and to help others and to use our power and ability to serve others, is to purchase assets. Like I'm telling you, why use your money to purchase things that bleed you when you could use your money to purchase things that feed you? We're going to talk about those assets here in just a minute on the 4 stages of wealth creation. But speaking of wealth, how many of y'all are ready to learn what is wealth now? So now we've understood, okay, what are riches? Riches are the stuff, okay? Riches, it's the stuff. Money is power and ability, okay? So what is wealth? Is anybody ready for this? Drop some fire emojis down in the comments if y'all are ready to learn what is wealth. Now I'm going to submit a very interesting definition of wealth to you, okay? So what is wealth? Real quick, just for the sake of recapping, let me know down in the comments, what are riches? I want to make sure you're really getting this. So drop it in the comments. What are riches? Talk to me in the comments. It's the stuff, right? It's the stuff. There you go. There you go. And here's the thing. You don't put your trust in stuff because stuff is what? Fleeting. There we go, right? It could be here today and gone tomorrow. Nothing wrong with having stuff, but we don't trust our stuff, okay? Now, what is money? Talk to me in the comments, y'all. What is money? Money is power and ability. Money doesn't change a person. Money amplifies it amplifies a person to be able to have more power and ability to be more of who they are, okay? That's right. What is one of the main purposes of money? How many of y'all are paying attention? One of the main purposes of money, there we go, Sammy V got it, is to purchase assets. Yes, we use money to buy time. Yes, we use money to buy freedom. Yes, we use money to be generous. We're using that power and ability to be generous, to purchase time, to purchase freedom. But I believe one of the main reasons why we have money is to purchase assets. Now we're on to wealth. Here is my definition of wealth. Make sure to write this down, because I've asked a number of different wealthy people their definitions of wealth, and I believe I've kind of taken pieces from all of these wealthy mentors of mine, and I've kind of put my own definition together, and I think it's really, really on, at least as one of the definitions of wealth. You guys ready? If you're ready, shout ready in the comments, okay? What is wealth? Wealth is, it's a mindset, it's a skill set, and it's a tool set. That provides you the ability to provide so much value for others that in return, it supplies abundant options for you. Now, I know that's a little bit of a mouthful, but let me break this down for you, okay? So what is wealth? Wealth is, it's first a mindset, okay? Because how many of y'all know that if you want to create generational wealth, it's not just like, hey guys, here's some stuff. Hey grandkids, here's some money. No. It's not just here's some money and here's my watch that has been in the family for years. No. When you build generational wealth, you are literally breaking the cycle of scarcity and the pattern of poverty off of your lineage forever. How? By training their mindsets, first and foremost. Like guys, when my kids come to me, like many times they're not just coming up to me like, hey dad, can I have 20 bucks? Like my 7-year-old comes up to me and he goes, hey dad, do you have any problems I can solve? Aha! He's already thinking in how money and how finances and how wealth works. And then I'll be like, well, how big of a problem are we talking about here, son? He's like, I don't know, something that's worth like 20 bucks. Like he's thinking money's not free. He's thinking like, okay, how can I bring value to somebody so that I can be thanked in the form of dollars so that I can go purchase whatever I desire to purchase? Are y'all getting this? Are you guys seeing this? Like wealth, first and foremost, is a mindset. If you are allowing the price of gas or the price of eggs, oh man, gas is so expensive. Oh man, we can never afford that. Oh man, the price of eggs shot up $2. Oh my gosh. If you're allowing little baby numbers to be bigger than your God-given potential, you don't yet have a wealthy mindset. Because I don't know if y'all notice or not, but nothing is bigger than your God-given potential. That's part of the abundant mindset, of the wealthy mindset. So wealth, first and foremost, is a mindset. Second of all, it's a skill set, because how many of y'all know that the Hebrew word for wisdom is the word shakma, and it literally translates to the English word skill. So when you are asking God for wisdom, you're not just saying, God, make me smarter. No. You're not just saying, God, give me more insight. No. When you are asking for wisdom, you are saying, God, please make me more skilled. And can I tell y'all how God brings more skill to you? He allows more problems into your life. That's why if you've been crying out for wisdom recently, stuff starts breaking, fires start burning. You're like, oh, get behind me, Satan. And God's like, that's not Satan, bro, it's me. I'm not trying to hurt you, I'm trying to help you. When you pray for wisdom, God's going to say, you want wisdom? Here's a new puzzle to solve. And if you don't understand how wisdom works, it's going to be real hard for you to grow in wisdom and to grow in wealth, because you still have a broke mindset and you still think that the devil's attacking you on every which way, side, form, shape. Oh, there's a devil behind the bush. Oh, something broke. It's a devil. It's a demonic attack. No, it's not. It's God. Now, listen, obviously, I believe in spiritual warfare, of course, but I really do believe This is somebody coming from 25 years of ministry, missions, and worship, okay? I'm speaking this not to, but from, okay? I sincerely believe that like most of the quote unquote attacks that God's people are like, oh, the devil's attacking me. It's not the devil attacking you. It's either you have made unwise decisions and you're reaping the benefits from that, or not the benefits, you're reaping like what are they called? The consequences, thank you. My wife is in studio today. You're reaping the consequences from that, or it's God answering your prayer. He said, you asked for wisdom, so I'm going to give you more problems. You asked for courage, I'm going to give you some scary stuff to face, right? Like you ask for these things, and how are you going to grow in wisdom if you never figure out puzzles to solve, if you never figure out fires to put out, right? So wealth, number one, it's a mindset. Number two, it's a skill set. You've got to allow the process to do what the process does so you can build the skills. Number three, it's a tool set, okay? My wife and I were talking about this, I think it was yesterday, but listen, there's so much new technology coming out right now, and so many people are like demonizing like all this new technology, etc. Like, oh man, I don't want to get it, or I'm too old to figure that out, or I'm too young to figure it out, or I'm not techie. I get it, but listen, you could either fight these new tools, or you could use these new tools. Like, none of us here were born knowing how to walk, but you didn't lay up in the bed your whole entire life. You figured it out. Like, you can figure stuff out. And if you desire to grow in wealth, you have to have the mindset, the skill set, and the tool set. Not just with new technology, but you have to have the tools to be able to do the next part. Mindset, skill set, and tool set, watch this, that provide you the ability. Somebody in the comments say ability. The ability to provide so much value for others. Let's pause right there. What does that mean, okay? Here's the point, man. Here's the punchline, okay? There's so many people out there, they don't have the ability, but they have the willingness to help. And then there's other people out there who have the ability, but they don't have the willingness to help. Are y'all tracking? But when you have a wealthy mindset and you've developed the mindset, the skill set, and the tool set, now you have the ability to do both. You have willingness and ability to be able to what? Provide value for others. Let me break this down. And guys, I promise we're going to get to the 4 stages of wealth, but please, this is so important for you to understand how money works, because the more you can increase your financial literacy, the more you can increase your money, your riches, your wealth, okay? So watch this. We're going to get back to this here in just a second, but let me ask you a question, okay? Let's say we're on a deserted island, okay? Let me do a goofy little drawing here, okay? Oh, it's a palm tree, right? So it's one of these. Okay, and we're here on this deserted island, okay? And we're stranded. Let's put some coconuts in here. We're stranded on this deserted island, okay? Now here's the thing. I got a question for you. You got dude number one, okay? And he's got a stack of $10 million cash, okay? You got a dude with a stack of $10 million cash on this deserted island, okay? But then you have dude number two, or let's make this, sis. She's in a dress, okay? We're keeping this G-rated. And she has a gigantic barrel of water. Let me ask you a question here, and it's not a trick question. Which one of these two people are more wealthy? The one who has useless pieces of paper, or the one who is able to provide value for others? Which one? So this means, this is just one of many, many, many examples. This means whoever is able to provide more value to others will in turn be the one who becomes more what? Somebody in the comments shout wealthy. Are you guys getting this? Are the light bulbs coming up like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely insane, right? So let's get back to the definition of wealth. Now we're going to really break this down, okay? So wealth is a mindset, it's a skill set, and a tool set that provides you the ability, one more time in the comments, say ability. It provides you the ability to provide so much value for others that, watch this, that in return, it supplies abundant options for you. Where do we see this again? Options. Options. Aha! Aha! Whenever you grow your mindset, your skill set, and your tool set so that you can provide more value to others, you now grow wealthier and wealthier and wealthier, and people start saying thank you in the form of dollar signs, which increases your money, aka it increases your power and ability to be able to purchase more time, more freedom, more options to meet needs of others, to fulfill your wants, and to purchase assets. And guess what? As a byproduct of all that stuff, you're going to get some more stuff. You're going to get some riches as a Are y'all seeing this? So riches and money are simply byproducts of wealth. And so I submit to you, and now we're really going to break it down here, okay? I submit to you, the reason why you need to continue to grow your mindset, your skill set, and your tool set is because if you decide, oh man, this is too hard, it's not working, boo-hoo, I'm going to give up. Congratulations, you are just like everybody else. You're one of the mundane many and not one of the fantastic few. See, here's the punchline, guys. Everybody has a desire to be the exception, but very, very few are willing to live like the exception. My wife just amened me. You want to be the exception, you got to learn to live like the exception. And that's why developing the mindset, developing the skill set, developing the tool set is part of your wealth creation journey. Because if you don't have the tool set, if you don't have the skill set, if you don't have the mindset, then you don't have the ability to provide value for other people. And if you can't provide more value for other people, you will have less money and less riches. Is anybody here getting it? Drop some fire emojis down in the comments if stuff is beginning to click for you guys. Riches, money, and wealth, they're all very different things. Okay? Now here's what I need to submit to you. If you're taking notes, write this down. Proverbs 17, verse 16. Incredibly powerful verse. Proverbs 17:16 says it like this. Why does a fool have money in his hand with no intention of buying wisdom? What is happening? What did he just say? What's the point of you having all this money in your hand if you're not trying to buy the asset, which is wisdom? If you're taking notes, write it down like this, y'all. So what does all of this mean, okay? Riches and money, they're man-made, but wealth is God-made. Hello. Are y'all seeing it? Are y'all seeing it? So real quick, before we get into the 4 stages of wealth creation, let's break down, because remember, the whole point, here's how it works, okay? You want to grow in wisdom so that you can grow in wealth, which by the way, wisdom is developing a mindset, a skill set, and a tool set, okay? So first wisdom, then wealth, not the other way around, okay? So when you develop your mindset, when you develop your skill set, when you develop your tool set, you begin to grow in wisdom. And when you begin to grow in wisdom, you begin to grow in wealth, what is wealth again? Wealth is the ability. It's the mindset, skill set, and tool set that provide you the ability to supply abundant value for other people. that in return gives you insane amount of options, which those come in the forms of money and riches, okay? And why do we have money? Because one of the main purposes of money is to buy assets. What are some of the best assets to purchase? Let me know in the comments what you think some of the best assets to purchase are. I'm going to tell you number one, wisdom. Wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. Why does Proverbs 17:16, why does a fool have money in his hand with no intention of buying wisdom? Like if you have money to invest into something and you're not willing to purchase wisdom, the Bible calls you a fool. That's not Pino, that's the Bible, right? So what are some of the best assets? Number one, wisdom. Number two, business. My wife found a really amazing scripture earlier today. Let me pull it up here. Proverbs 24, I believe it's Proverbs 24:27. It says, develop your business first before building your house. What? Can I just drop some wisdom bombs on you? That's right, Aaron. It's all in the book, son. Josiah, it's all in the book, son. Like, guys, grow in wisdom so that you can grow in wealth and so that you can have the byproduct of money and riches, and then use your money to buy wisdom, to buy businesses, to buy investments. By the way, if you're making less than $100,000 a month, the best place to invest is into the S&P 500, not the S&P 500, right? If you're making less than 100K a month right now, continue to invest into wisdom, into yourself, into knowledge, into understanding. Okay, what are some other amazing assets to purchase? Passive cash flow. My wife and I have an investment right now that literally pays our mortgage every single month. We don't even have to think about it. It's passive cash flow. It's literally like an investment we made and boom, it pays our mortgage. It's crazy. Land. Okay, land. Here's a huge one. I only discovered this in the past 2 years. Health. Health. These are all incredible assets that you can use your money. And here's what why am I saying this like this, guys? Okay, why am I breaking it down to you like this? Because I need you to understand something. Guess what all of these have in common with one another? You can leave all of these as an inheritance to your children and to your children's children. Proverbs 13:22, if you're taking notes, write it down. Proverbs 13:22 says it like this: a good man leaves an inheritance to their children's children. And before someone tries to get all religious, like, oh, we're going to leave them a spiritual inheritance. Awesome, of course, duh. But how do I know that this verse, the context of this verse, is not talking about a spiritual inheritance, even though that's awesome and you should? How do I know it's talking about a financial and a wealth inheritance? Because of the next part of the verse. The next part of the verse says it like this: and the wealth of the wicked will be stored up for the righteous. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, and the wealth. Somebody in the comments shout wealth, 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 wealth. And the wealth. A good man leaves an inheritance of wealth. We leave the inheritance of wisdom and skill and tool set and mindset. We leave an inheritance of businesses. We leave the inheritance of investments. We leave the inheritance of passive cash flow. We can leave the inheritance of land. And look, we're working on this right now in my household. You can leave the inheritance of health by educating, by growing your children's mindset around health. Like yesterday, my kids wanted to play some video games. And I said, great, if you want to play video games, all you got to do is go get a workout in. You got to do 1,000 jumps on the trampoline. I'm not exaggerating. 1,000 jumps on the trampoline. What was it, babe? 20 jumping jacks, 20 squats, and then you have to make five baskets on the basketball hoop. Whenever you're done with all these, then you can play a little bit of video games. Like I'm telling you, like, why do we want to grow in wisdom so that we can grow in wealth, so that we can leave an inheritance. Somebody in the comments say, leave an inheritance. Leave an inheritance, man. So all of this to say, okay, there's a big difference between riches, money, and wealth. Now that you're understanding the difference between riches, money, and wealth, you are beginning to discover that wisdom is the unlock for all of it. Okay? Growing your mindset, your skill set, and your tool set. Whenever you get bigger mindset, a more sharpened skill set, and you get stronger at your tool set, then you can have the ability to provide mass value for more people that will in return provide abundant options for you. Options like more power and ability, aka money, that leads to more asset purchasing, and it leads to more riches. The stuff. Are y'all getting it now? If you're getting it, wave me a screen like this. So now that you have the foundation, let's break down the 4 stages of wealth creation. Are y'all ready for this? If you're ready, shout ready, 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 ready down in the comments. Let's talk about it, okay? So now that we understand riches, money, and wealth, let's talk about the 4 stages of wealth creation. How many wealth creators we got in here? If that's you, shout me in the comments. So remember what I said at the beginning of the training today, okay? Wealth is not just built in one big poof. God didn't make creation and just like poof, creation's done. No. God, he designed creation in stages. Why does God build things in stages? Because God is he's trying to show us that when you build in stages, you build things that last. How many of y'all would either like to have fleeting wealth or lasting wealth? Which one? Tell me in the comments. Duh. You want lasting wealth. So guess how you've got to build it? Somebody in the comments say, in stages. If you're ready for stage number 1, drop a 1 in the chat. Let's go. Stage number 1 of wealth creation, okay? This should be your first priority, your first goal if you are not here yet. And stage number one of wealth creation is simply stability. Just straight stability. If you are financially unstable right now, it's okay, but this is, before you try to become a millionaire, you got to get stable first. What do I mean by stability? I'm talking about financial stability. Listen, if you are a young single man on here, one of my very first mentors, I remember I was trying to marry my wife. I was trying to get ready to ask my wife to marry me, and I was completely dead broke. And one of my mentors, his name was Guy, and he's from Cameroon, Africa. And I was like, Guy, I really like this girl. I'm thinking about asking her to marry me. And he's like, and he had this real thick, like Cameroonian, I don't know if that's the way to say it, but this real thick French African accent. He's like, Rick, you cannot marry her right now. And I said, why, Guy? He goes, because you're broke. And I was like, well, she loves me. Like, she doesn't care if I have money or not. He goes, no. And then he said like this, he says, no finance, no romance. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. I'm thinking about it. You can't take care of yourself. You're not even stable yourself. How are you going to take care of a wife and a family, bruh? And all the ladies in the comments said, amen. Guys, I'm not even lying. When my wife met me, I was living in a van down by the river. Not quite down by the river, but I was living in a van. I thought it was so good. I'm like, why do you need a house? Who the heck cares? Like, what? Showers? Who needs that? Anyways, God has brought me a long way. See, if he can do it for me, he can do it for you too. All right, so number 1, guys, you got to get stable. Okay, what does that mean? You need to be financially stable, and you need to have your bad debts under control. Hopefully, you are completely out of all bad debts. If you don't know what bad debt is whenever you've used other people's money to purchase liabilities, right? It's dumb purchases that you've made that cost you over and over and over and over. They don't make you any money, right? So get your bad debts under control, get your finances stable, and congratulations, if you've done this, you are at level 1 of wealth creation. in the stable level, okay? If you're ready for level number 2, drop a 2 in the chat. Let's go. So the first level is stability. Second level is security, okay? What is security? If you're taking notes, write it down like this. Whenever you are financially secure, now this is past stability, okay? Obviously, you got to get stable. But after you get stable, then you need to get secure. What is financial security, wealth security? This is when you are able to live off of less than you make. When you're able to live off of less than you make. When you have at least 6 months of savings. Now, you guys know me. I'm not trying to save a ton of liquid cash because it's going to depreciate over time. But I ain't no fool. You better believe I got some little something on the side. You better believe I got a little something over here, a little something over there. Why? Because you have to have some kind of little net, right? You have to have some kind of security. So number one, you've got to be able to live off of less than you make. I was talking to my banker about two or 3 months ago, and we were actually at the gym together, and he was like, bro, we're looking at your account. This is so insane. Literally, he says this. He goes, compared to your overall wealth, you're literally living off of 1 or 2% of all of your wealth. He's like, this is one of the rarest things. He's like, I never see this in banking. Like no one does this. Guys, you can get there too. We didn't just wake up one day and we were here. You can grow into this. As you grow in wisdom, one of the most amazing byproducts of growing in wisdom is you get to grow in wealth as well, right? So number one, you're secure, okay? You're living off of less than you make. You have 6 months of saving. Things like proper insurances to cover any major expenses. Listen, this is not financial advice, but my gosh, if it's somebody within my family, they're covered financially because I have life insurance, I've got home insurance, I've got car insurance, I've got all the proper insurances that if something crazy happens, everything's taken care of. There's a security there. Somebody in the comments say security. Security! Right? So level 2, the second stage of wealth creation, is you need to become secure. So obviously number 1, you got to get stable. Number 2, you got to become secure. If you're ready for number 3, drop a 3 in the chat. We're wrapping up, guys. Drop a 3 in the chat. Now that you're stable, okay, now that you're secure, now we can really start growing in wealth, and this is the level that I call success. This is the success level, okay? What is the success level? Success is when you can live off your investments, okay? This is maybe whenever your business or businesses take care of you, okay? This is where you are leveraging good debt, okay? This is where you have multiple streams of income, okay? Now, by the way, you don't get wealthy, you don't build money and riches by trying to start with multiple streams of income, right? You focus on the one thing and you get the one thing so solid that as it's so solid and as it's operating on its own, then you can grow off another branch and then get that one super solid. And congratulations, now you have 2 streams of income, and then grow a third one. Like only broke people say, every millionaire has 7 streams of income. Only broke-minded people say that. Every single wealthy person I know, every single millionaire that I know, the way that we built our streams of income was over long periods of time, focusing on one thing at a time. Somebody in the comments say one thing at a time. Not, I'm going to start 87 businesses and I'm going to be like, I had a guy come to me last year and he was like, hey, Rick, I think he said something crazy. He's like, I got 34 businesses, blah, 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 and I want to join your diamond program. I was like, that's cool. He's like, how much is, I heard about the diamond program. I heard your students are doing 6 figures in a day. How much is it? And at the time it was only 100,000. And I was like, well, it's 100,000. And he goes, 100,000? He's like, who in the world has $100,000? And I said, well, didn't you just tell me you have 34 businesses? He's like, well, yeah, I mean, I have a lot of businesses, but I don't have $100,000. And I'm like, okay, so you're like spinning your wheels thinking more business equals more money. But in reality, like most wealthy people I know have 1 or 2 businesses that are like the cash generators. We're not boasting like, I have 800 million businesses, but I don't have 100K. Like, what? Come on, man. So anyways, stage number 3, this is the success stage, okay? Where you can live off your investments. Maybe you have a business or 2 that take care of you. You're leveraging good debt, okay? What does that mean? It means that you're not just going out and taking out debt and you can't pay the notes and you can't do this. You're using debt wisely to leverage and build wealth, okay? And also, this is the stage where you start building multiple streams of income. If you're ready for stage number 4 of the wealth creation process, drop a 4 in the chat. And stage number 4, this is where all of us, all of you, all of us should be pressing for. This is the stage called significance. Significance. What is the significance stage? This stage is where you have the financial significance, where you can have a succession plan in place. Okay? This is the ability to empower your bloodline, right? To where you can leave resources, wisdom, money, land, assets, businesses to at least 3 to 4 generations. This is where me and my wife are working on right now. Is we're trying to build enough now for the grandkids and for the grandkids' kids. Right? So guys, these are the 4 stages of wealth creation. Stage number 1, you got to get stable. After you get stable, stage number 2, you got to grow some security, right? You got to get some stuff secure. Stage number 3, that's whenever you start growing in success. Okay? And then stage number 4, this is significance. This is generational. This is multi-generational. This is children's children, right? This is where you are living beyond the vision of just your life. I submit to you, one of the main reasons why so many people struggle to build wealth and money and finance is because they only have a vision that's big enough for their own life. But when you think about it, you're like, oh, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to do this? What am I going to do? No. You got to start thinking, what about my kids? How can I build security? How can I get my kids all set up? How can I get my grandkids all set up? Like, what can I do? What can I set in place? Maybe you got to get some trusts going. Maybe you got to get a family office going, not an actual office. It's a wealth term called family office. Basically, it's a trust management team, right? Like you've got to start thinking bigger than yourself, because if all you do is focus on yourself, it's going to be very, very hard for you to build wealth. But when you start focusing on your children, your children's children, 3 and 4 generations, now you're going to see, oh my gosh, I need a lot more wisdom than, oh my gosh, the price of eggs is so high. Serious? Like, you have to get a bigger vision, man.